Yeah. I always have time to dig into these. But it makes it
Yes,
fun, It makes it fun to making it a real conversation instead of just um, you know, 1, 2, 3. I've never done that before. So it'll be fun.
yes, it will be
But
fun.
uh but yeah, shall we? You're like, okay, when are we live? Like, is it live? Is it live? Are we
Yes,
gonna be live?
let's roll.
All right, guys. Josh Sanch here with our lead female correspondent, IFBB Pro Olympian Danielle Willis, for a new restructuring of our show. Danielle's been with us since the last Olympia. We're going to be redesigning the show, and I think I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to really enjoy this segment, this show, this episode. Words. But we have a phenomenal set of guests coming on. It's going to be back to back. Myself and Danielle, we're going to be talking throughout the whole episode, so you're really going to enjoy it. Make sure you stay tuned all the way till the end. Check the descriptions for timestamps so you know exactly where you want to go and where you need to be for your favorite parts of this show. But as we bring on Danielle, all smiles in a brand new backdrop. How are you doing?
I know. This we're getting ourselves a facelift over here, literally. I mean, new backdrop. I'm not in a little box anymore. And as you just stated, yes, BNN has revamped the show, and we are really excited to roll things out. Can I say the name?
Sure.
Since okay, so this is the name, everybody. I felt it fit. Sanch felt it fit. It fits. It stays. We are officially BNN now. Okay. We are the spot that you come to for your men news, your women news in bodybuilding. Okay. You want the bodybuilding tea? We have got it. And we are also grateful that we are going to have some guests. Yes, like he said, some champions on our show today that we are going to have the honor of speaking with. And I'm just excited that we have come this far. I mean, from beginning, what, December, Olympia, we made
Yeah.
the decision to join forces, and then we made it official at the Fit Expo. And
Mm-hmm.
here we are. We are 4 weeks out now from the Rising Phoenix.
Mm.
And we have,
The
what do we
official
have?
scorecard came out like yesterday, I thought, for
With the
Rising. Yeah.
Well, at least, well, they have the invite list, so we already
Okay.
are aware prior to, right? We're already aware who the women are going to be
Mm-hmm.
for the women's bodybuilding. So it's an exciting lineup. I'm really looking forward to this year's Rising, just because new faces and of course the ones that we all know and love all vying for that top spot. But
Mm.
it's gonna be tough because you got to go through the queen, 3-time currently, Andrea Shaw.
Yeah.
So we shall see. I saw some check-ins the other day. I saw Mayla's. I've seen how Chelsea's looking, Dion, and
Yep.
she's getting ready
Yep. She looks good.
for yeah, she's going to head out to Europe and give it a go.
Okay. So she's gonna do
Europa,
the
right?
European
Mm-hmm.
Championships
I
first.
wanted to make sure I didn't mess up the title, but yes,
Yeah.
she'll be going. That's the
Yeah.
week before
Like
Rising.
3 weeks out. Yep.
So we got the Europa Pro coming up out there, but yes, we are all preparing right now for Rising Phoenix, September 30th. It's going to be in Chandler, Arizona.
Mm-hmm. And it's a Saturday.
Yes.
It's not a Friday because we all hate Friday shows because full-time
And
people were working. So
yeah,
it's good.
if we could move them maybe respectfully to
I'm
to
I'm gonna make I'm gonna make a infamous rant video in my
oh
car one of these days because those videos are just so much fun. I just turn the camera on. I'm like, all right, post workout rant, PWR, and we get into it. And that's definitely one of the topics.
why you want
Why?
them to do it? So you're not at work and you're like in
Yeah,
your
because
car,
like,
like head
and
exploding.
I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to.
Yes,
I can make it a tangent. That's
yes.
people love this
Let's
stuff,
yeah.
but no, I'm not going to. It's too much.
Too much.
It's a thing I've noticed. I want it to change. Promoters, please, or at least tell me why. Please tell me why. Anywho,
Please tell him why. Anyways, there's a lot of things that we probably need to put on the old chopping block, but we'll definitely have to maybe side that conversation for a separate segment.
what do they call it? Tabletop it. We're tabletop that conversation topic.
Tabletop. Oh, I like that. Tabletop.
Isn't a thing? I don't know. I heard
They
someone
have the
say it
right
once. I was like,
tabletop, but no, tabletop.
mm,
That'd be something we can play around
tabletop.
with.
Around the table with Daniel Willis.
Ooh, I like that. Well, let's talk about what's been going on around the IFBB. We just
Mm,
had Masters.
we just did, yes. Yep.
That was some showing.
It was, when was the last time we had it? 2012, 2013?
Mhm.
So it's been, a good part of a decade since we've had the Masters. And I know we've talked offline personally about the importance of the pro league recognizing the competitive nature of athletes as they get older. What does the Masters Olympia reintroduction say for, Danielle Willis and specifically women's bodybuilding as we start getting into the, late 30s and late 40s for these athletes?
Yeah. To me, it was a great thing
Yeah.
to bring it back because it just uh re I guess reaffirms
Yeah.
the fact that this is a long game to be played.
It's a career.
And
Yeah.
right. And there is no limit.
Mm-hmm.
If as long as you're in good shape, you take care of yourself and your health, you could be at your best shape at 50, at 60. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, as someone who's still currently active, even though I'm on off season, it's just something to think about when you make the decisions of do you want to compete. And again, it's looking at this and saying, hey, you could take your time
Mm-hmm.
and you can still bring out your best, which that's also a nice uh, conversation topic as we go into the health and longevity, right,
Right.
of the athletes, which is also another, like I said, important. It's an uh, important thing to
It's like the
analyze
most important is athletes' health and longevity.
or touch on. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I think now you're starting to see more athletes, especially the ones that are retired. They're talking about the importance of health, taking care of yourself, not doing too much, not going too hard, things that they think they could have done maybe a little bit differently.
Almost
And
everyone says they could have done less. Like
right,
they're like, oh, I could have done less supplements. I could have done less hot sauna. They always say I always did too much, and maybe that's just the competitive nature of competitors.
sure. But at the same time, you got to think when you're done and you're not chasing that ghost and trying to keep up, I guess, a certain image,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
A little bit more comfortable being a little more forthcoming.
Yes.
So it's refreshing when you do see and hear a retired athlete that was once at the top of their game or top of their own personal game, right? It's talking about the importance of being mindful of what you put in your body and how much you put into your body.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all that I think it boils down to, because this is such an intense sport, and it's goes without saying, that we do need that extra support from the supplements and things of that nature. But just like water, too much is something, right, to help
True.
you. Too much of what you think is a good thing, it could end up being a bad thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes the saying goes, less is more.
Mm-hmm.
And you're starting to also see that in the league itself.
Mm-hmm.
There are standout athletes that are being rewarded, and they are going on record as saying, I did a little bit less.
Yeah.
I'm doing a little bit less. I'm putting in more of the work.
Yeah,
I'm relying more on the
especially
diet.
women's bodybuilding. I mean, I feel like it is being rewarded. I mean, you're a huge advocate for retaining femininity within women's bodybuilding as much as possible. So I think that that's what the league is pushing, is people being healthier. And you look at the crop of women's bodybuilders coming into the Rising Phoenix we just talked about, 4 weeks out, September 30th, Saturday. We have a lot of exciting people coming into the show, and they're doing it in a healthy way.
Yes, that I was talking to a competitor who's in it the other day, and I said, BNN's going to be watching, even though we won't be there, because this is a lineup you don't want to miss. I feel like this lineup of ladies, it's going to be a great representation of what feminine,
Mm.
beautiful muscle can be in all forms.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got a different package to bring into the stage, but I like what I'm seeing, and you're right. I have made that decision. And you live and you learn. I've been
Yeah.
open with the fact that I had to go through it and take a step back and say, okay, these are the things that I don't want to do moving forward, and these are the things that I should do moving forward. And as far as taking care of my health and being an active competitor, because that is what is most important, my health and my femininity.
Mm.
And us continuing to have these conversations, showing up on the stages, that's going to be the messaging. And I feel that that is what is going to keep women's bodybuilding around and more wanting to be women's bodybuilders.
Mm-hmm.
The North Americans yesterday, there were more women going for women's bodybuilding than when I turned pro in 2019. And that is a true testament to the changing times and these women coming up looking at the three-time champion, looking at the ladies that were in the top 5 last year, looking at these ladies that are winning these shows this year and going to the O and saying, I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
I could do that. I feel comfortable going there and being what these ladies have become. And
Yeah.
that is an amazing thing to see.
Agreed.
Yeah, you know how I can get.
Yeah,
And I
I'm with
my
you.
women's bodybuilding, so
Well, women's bodybuilding. Let's talk about the Masters.
sure.
What happened with women's bodybuilding at the Masters? What was your feeling coming out of it? Walk us through some of the standout performances over in Romania, right? Romania?
Yes.
I almost said Bulgaria.
No, that was Romania. It was like Kopric. I don't
Yeah,
even
at
know.
the AR arena yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I will cap off with the winner was Reshanna Boswell. Reshanna is quite the athlete. I've had the honor of stepping on stage with her last year at the Olympia, and that was not her first go. She's just a force. And to see her step on that stage, I believe she was her best package.
Okay.
It was also, to me, the conditioning. I
Hmm.
mean,
Huge.
that was what I've seen. She was on top point. That was probably the best.
Okay.
Um, Barbara Muhen. I hope I'm Muyen. Muyen. I
You
want to
can
say
try.
it's Muyen. Yes. She gave her a run though, and she's older.
Mm.
It's incredible, right? It's incredible. all great athletes, but I'm just putting the emphasis on the age, right?
Right.
Age doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Reshanna's in her 40s and Barbara in her 50s. And even Reshanna said it. Reshanna was saying how the competition wasn't easy. She went on record on, I was looking at her interview that she did with one of the other channels.
Mm-hmm.
She said it wasn't easy. So I want to reiterate that the ladies came out. We also got to see Virginia Sanchez, and Virginia Sanchez, she was 2013 champ for Chicago.
Mm.
She's been in the game a long time.
Yeah. Competitive, open.
Very competitive. Very. I mean, the muscle on her and the conditioning that she brings as well.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a great top 3 pick. Going with Reshanna and first, Barbara and Virginia. Again, you're talking about the overall checking all the boxes. Reshanna, she had the conditioning, she had the mature muscle bellies, she has the symmetry. I mean, that waist taper is just amazing. And she had the conditioning, and she looked beautiful.
Yep.
So posing is everything.
It is. Posing's huge.
Amazing poser. Presentation. All the ladies did a great job. But again, it comes down to who checks the boxes the most. And I also want to say that I want to also give a shout out to Donna Salib, who is another colleague, competitor of mine as well. She's the 2022 New York champion. So she did the O last year, and she placed 4th. And she went on record as saying that that was her best look. I thought she looked fantastic. She looked beautiful. She looked full. She came in full, and she came in hard. And that I like to see that with her. So I feel that that was very a very good look for Miss Donna Salib. I'm not too familiar with Sylvia Mata, but she was in 5th. And so all these ladies, legendary ladies, in the mix. Dana Shemesh, Miss Israel, Michelle Brent, Jay Fox. I hope I don't mess that one up. There was just so many amazing ladies that were bringing their A game to the stage. But again, it all came down to one winner, who I will be speaking with, Miss Reshanna Boswell.
In just a moment.
Yes, in just a moment. And this is, again, the first Masters women's bodybuilding since the 2010s.
Yeah.
It's been a decade plus. So not only is this a good thing for Reshanna, but this is just a good thing for women's bodybuilding as a whole, because now there are so many women that are gunning, they are ready, I can't wait to put my invite or my application in. I've already had a couple ladies speaking to me in other interviews that I've done saying, I want to do Masters next year. I want to do Masters next year. So we're probably going to see Masters continue to grow as the years go on. And so again, women's bodybuilding is just,
it's on the up and up.
It's on the up and up. I was going to say shows or no shows. We are on the up and up.
Yep.
We are here.
Well, isn't this the perfect, and I know we're going to shift into, me covering the men's topics, but isn't this really a great way for the bodybuilding community to kind of clap back against the pro league cutting shows and the pro league and I'm not attacking the pro league. That's not the intent, but that's what happened. They cut shows, and they also remove the points, which takes 3 competitors out of the Olympia.
Yes.
So when we talk about the open Olympia, right, from Miss Olympia, we lost a bunch of competitors this year because of decisions that were made. So we do get a +1. We got a +1 with Reshanna from the Masters, but what else can the community do besides what we're doing right now to say, hey, women's bodybuilding is back, it's healthy, and it's growing.
Yes. Back, healthy, growing. And these conversations, they're my favorite to be had because
this is your baby.
This is my baby.
Yep.
I'm so passionate about women's bodybuilding. Again, that's why I'm doing this with you and why I started the shows that I did, because advocacy for us and giving us that extra platform, it's so important. They're trying to, take. No, and we're going to keep adding. We're going to keep adding. Whether it's, here having these conversations, or again, we're winning masters, we're adding as much as we can. And to go to Romania, that can't be any easy feat. I can't wait to hear what went into going to Romania, maintaining that physique through travel.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's winning. That's winning right there. Forget actually stepping on stage and out, besting, if you will, right?
Yeah.
Everyone. The fact that you're able to actually show up to do that right there before you even step on the stage has to be highlighted and celebrated as the first win.
Because you could just show up all waterlogged. It could be terrible.
I know, but that to me, going out there with that mindset and securing a win like that to come back and go to the O again. I mean, I told her that was good form. I'm gonna say it again on the show. Good form.
It's fun.
Yes. So it's going to be exciting. We got the Masters Olympian back in the Olympia, and we got the robust lineup for the Rising coming up. And I've been kind of peeking at 3-time herself, gunning for another.
Yep.
And she's looking good. She's looking good, to be expected. She's got her head on straight. She got her game face on. And these updates that I've been seeing, you can start to see it's all coming together. What she's given us is coming together. Angela Yao, she did an update. She likes to update more openly.
Yep.
And of course, the conditioning that we've all come to know from her is definitely showing through. I think I mentioned it in the beginning. Mayla Ash, she did an update recently, and so we're seeing some of these ladies start to show us a little bit of what they're going to be bringing to the stage, and we will have a new pro in the mix, Miss International. So the Miss International winner was Taylor Iragi.
That's Chicago, right?
Yes. Okay. And that's what happens. You win that national and you automatically get an invite. So she's been added in, and she's the newest pro in the mix. And so again, it's just from the new pros to the legendary pros. It's going to be a full lineup of ladies, and that is what I like to see. And I want to continue to see full lineups like this at shows, period. Tampa did a great job. Those ladies showed up and showed out.
Yep.
We talked about that on the other show. Having 16 up there, that was nice.
We can't do 2 anymore.
No. One
and done. Let's not do that.
Yes. Like to see that full lineup.
Yeah, a good 3 full call outs is fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. If when I see a full lineup 16 plus, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes, and because you actually get to be compared too and move around. Yep. And so that's what I'm looking forward to the most when I get back out there, is actually being able to go a couple rounds.
Yeah.
That's the fun part.
Yeah.
Because you have enough people on stage to have that nice little battle royale, I
Mm-hmm.
call
And
it.
then you can get even better notes from the judges.
Yes,
You get side by side to different types of physiques. And
exactly.
sometimes you get lucky. You'll hop into a show and there'll be like a top 3, top 4 Olympian, and you might
Yes,
get side by side for them for a second. I mean, the the notes and feedback and takeaways that you can get from something like that is you can't put a value on it. So love full lineups.
yes, yes. Me too. I really do. And like I said, we have that to look forward to with the Rising Phoenix coming up September 30th, which BNN will definitely we'll be watching, and we'll be making sure uh that we get all of the coverage to you and all the good highlights and all that fun stuff. So
Yes.
yes, it'll be exciting to see. Will she do it? I
Yes.
believe she can do it.
I think so too.
I believe she can do it. I believe she's gonna do it.
Yep. Yep. You got to knock off the champ. So let's see who's going to be stepping up to the plate.
Yes, let's see who's going to step up to the plate and go toe to toe with three-time champion Andrea Shaw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I do want to recap the Open and the 212 Masters, but I will say real quickly, when you look at last year's 212 Miss Olympia top 6, we have some vacancies, people that are not competing this year. So you're going to have you usually have, a new top 6 at the Olympia. You got different people swinging in, but this year Hella said she wasn't doing it from what I understand. And
Right.
then also Margie is not
Yep.
doing the Olympia. So that's third and fourth not doing the Olympia this year. So ladies, it's gonna be a competitive top 6. Probably one of the most top 6 competitive lineups at the Olympia that we've seen in who knows a while.
Yeah, we also don't have some other top Olympians that were there last year because either didn't compete or didn't qualify. So it's it's pretty much a whole new.
Crop.
It's a whole new, yeah. I mean, it is. It really is. I'm thinking. I'm going through my head, my Rolodex. I'm like minus this person, this person. Yeah, it is. It's like a whole new. It's top two and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, excuse me. Excuse me. We got Masters Miss Olympia. We got the current Miss Olympia.
There
We
you go.
got Angela.
Put some respect on the name.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, I love you, Reshanna. We got Masters Miss O. We got Miss O. We got Angela. Yeah, and then it's a crew. It's a new crew,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. If I forgot anybody and I'm going through, oh no, Michaela's back. We got Michaela and
Top
we got
5.
Mela.
Yep.
Mela.
Yep. And Mela.
And Mela. Yes. Yes. I'm excited, everybody. And when I get excitable, sometimes I talk before I think. So don't charge that to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
We have Mela, we have Michaela, we have Andrea, we have Angela, and we have Reshanna.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what? There was 20 of us last year.
Yeah.
So yes, pretty much. New class.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's going to make it exciting, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I really think it's going to be exciting. And as much as I don't like the fact that we have less shows, I don't know. It might make it more interesting that there's maybe not as many. I don't know. I don't know if they're especially because, I mean, the competition itself.
It could be a little tighter, maybe. Yeah.
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 The point differences could be a little different. I don't know.
Yeah. There's things I just think about.
And Danielle is so excited because in less than 5 minutes, she's going to be bringing on the one and only Reshanna Boswell, who just won the Masters. So that is why she's so excited. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Timestamps, of course, in the description if you need to jump around. But Danielle, we got this one coming up, and then almost technically immediately after that, we have the reigning Masters 212 Masters Olympia champion Hidetada Yamagishi is coming on. So we're excited for that one. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we will jump right into Reshanna's interview, and then we will see you, and we'll see you in just a second.
Good morning, and I'm back. Yes, Danielle Willis with BNN Now, bringing you another episode of Queens of the Olympia, and I am going to be bringing on the show today Reshanna Boswell. So let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. Let's try this.
Man, no. I think I'm in the basement too, so it's like giving me all kind of like crazy signals.
I was like, fix it, Jesus. Let's go. We got this.
You're good.
We're good, everybody. We're back.
Here we go.
Okay, so let's try this again. Again, this is Danielle Willis, IFBB Pro. Another installment of Queens of the Olympia with Masters champion Reshanna Boswell. She's in the building. We're going to make sure she stays in the building this time. So let's get right into it. How does it feel now being first Masters Olympia in a decade plus, and you were the champion?
I know it's surreal. You know, I'm still getting used to it. It feels good. It's overwhelming. And I just keep saying, like, I'm just emotional. Like,
hello.
I don't know. Keep checking out.
I am determined. I was like, we are in the elements. This is like we're in the field, okay?
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It's fine.
Figure it out. So go ahead. You were just telling us.
Yeah, no, like it's. I mean, I was just thinking about it. You know, it's a week since, you know, the show, and a week since I've been back, literally. And I mean, it's surreal. It's overwhelming a bit. I'm still super emotional. I'm checking in with my coach every single day. It's almost like we're doing like this virtual hug every day. We're still just kind of like, wow, did we do that? And really just trying to figure out what it all means exactly and how this is going to affect me. You know, the stakes have definitely gone up. I'm definitely on the radar now. There's definitely a much higher expectation at this point. So just taking all that in and understanding that. So it's kind of where I'm at now.
Oh yeah, the gravity of that, having more eyes on you now than ever before. And you've been in the sport a long time. You know, you are a veteran of the sport. And again, this is not your first, right? This is five-time Olympia going on now. You're sixth. So I think it's pretty good now. I think it's like a nice culmination, right? Of everything.
Well, I feel like it's like solidified what was kind of like, hey, Reshanna's kind of good, and if she's in the lineup, you kind of got to rethink what you thought was your top 5. And now I think that may have just solidified that. So now it's like, okay, there's no time to really falter right now. My coach is like, there is no time to falter. You have to deliver now. You really have to deliver. And yeah.
So walk us through what went into the decision to go to go for Masters. Walk us through what went into your prep, all of that.
Yeah, so I saw the show and I literally was like, ooh, that looks cool. And that looks like it would be just a fun show to do initially. Mike never been to Romania, never traveled that far. And that was my initial thought. And then I was like, well, let's just apply and then we'll see if we get in. And then when I got accepted, I had a bunch of people like congratulating me even before I even heard from like Wings and New. And I was like, oh, shoot. Okay, yeah, but I don't have like a passport either, right? So like I was like, why should go apply for that passport now? So it was just like it was like a lot of little things too. Like it was cool, but then my wife's like, and you know that's like a 14-hour flight, right? Didn't know any of that. I just thought it would be cool to do the show. Like literally. Didn't have a passport at all. My driver's license had just expired. I lost my birth certificate. Like I had all this. It took me 4 weeks just to even get my stuff together to go apply. And I'm like, okay, we got 14 weeks total to do this. 4 I wasted trying to even get my passport. So I got my passport like 3 weeks before the show. So I was like, yeah, we're cutting it kind of close.
Wow.
Yeah, but so I was telling my coach, I'm like, you know, he's like, we're not gonna worry about that. We're getting you there some kind of way. I need you to focus on prep because you know, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna prep this hard, and then something holds me back, and I can't even get there. You know, so. But yeah, once I made the decision, and I was like, okay, we got the invite. It was just like, okay, we got really 14 weeks, and I mean, it was a pretty easy prep. Honestly, I knew I had to be super strict, and if I just did for me, it was if I did everything right, this was going to be a winnable show for me, but that this was going to be the biggest show of my bodybuilding career, win or lose. So, and my coach was pretty adamant. He's like, I think we can win this thing. You're going to have to be super focused to do it, though. So it was kind of one of those, like, whether I won it or lost, it was going to be entirely based on me, nothing else. And that's how I felt. So I didn't care about who else was competing, disrespect, but I didn't care. That didn't matter. It was going to be how I prepped. And if I prepped accordingly, I could win this thing. And a couple of times, I stumbled and faltered, but that's when the good coaching came in and those very not so nice pep talks helped to kind of, get me focused again. My coach is really good about that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
To be able to pull that all together, and as I've been talking to others this year, it shows our resilience, our resourcefulness, right? As women's bodybuilders, athletes, period. You want to get the job done, you get it done no matter what. The sky can be falling. Again, you got a license, a passport. You're trying to figure out how you're gonna get it, but you figured it out.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
To me, I don't know about you, and I was talking to my co-host about this a little bit earlier. I feel that if you're able to come that far, right, and be your best before you even get on the stage, that's the win right there.
Absolutely.
Right there.
Absolutely.
To be able to go that far under those extreme circumstances, right?
Yeah.
That's the win right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So can you walk us through the actual show day itself?
Show day itself. Oh, show day started. I'm making sure we slept. Those 24 hours, pretty much eating every 2 to 4 hours usual. My meals, I pretty much stick with eggs and rice. They work well for me. Was eating every couple of hours, checking in with my coach every couple of hours. It's weird too, because our biggest concern was really just the time difference and making sure we got the timing right. Just because it's almost a 10-hour difference, from where he's at to where I'm at, just the Chicago time. I wasn't holding a ton of water, so when I woke up that morning, I checked in. I had my cheat meal the night before. It's always the same. It's burger, fries, and a slice of cheesecake. So I woke up the next morning pretty full from that, and I was filling out nicely, drying out nicely. And it's posing and eating. It's posing and eating. I wake up about 2. First meal was like at 2:30 that morning. Sent check-in pictures after that. Makeup I had makeup at like 5 in the morning. We got on stage at 12:30. I checked in with my coach probably 3 times over the course of that. Checked in with my posing coach as well. So the key, once I start getting those carbs in, is just I hit a couple of poses and just start tightening up, and everything just tightens up and dries out even more. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, this many years in the game, is it easier, you think? You feel like you finally got that sweet spot where or how? Yeah, talk about that.
I think I know my body at this point. I know what foods work. There's not a lot of guessing games as far as, hey, what we're going to have the night before. It's been pretty set for the last few years, and it works. I don't take a ton of diuretics. That's not necessary as I've gotten older and as the years have gotten on. I've taken way less in diuretics before a show than I did, when I was younger and when I started competing years ago. It's down to basically 1, the night before, and that's pretty much it. There's you don't need it, and if you're lean enough and conditioned enough, you don't need it, and you shouldn't need it. So I've definitely learned that, just in terms of diuretics and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I just yeah, show day. I haven't changed much. I mean, I have the same meal. It's always burger and fries. It's always some type of dessert that night before. I keep it pretty clean throughout the rest of the day as I'm pumping up. I always have a little bit of coffee because I need that. But yeah, I know my body. I know what kind of foods work. I know what doesn't work. So we don't change a lot of stuff at this point, and it seems to be working.
Well, you hit a really you made a good point about knowing your body, and especially as you get older. I've actually heard this from a lot of competitors that are more seasoned. Less is more, and that's a good message, a good takeaway for actually anyone coming up too. Once you learn your body, or you get yourself to a certain spot, and again, are you already ready going into the show enough? You shouldn't
Right.
have to go overboard and overdo it.
Right. Right. And I think that's the biggest thing with younger people and younger athletes coming into the game. And unfortunately, it's a hard lesson learned. And there were times where, hey, while you're flat on stage, you took too much. You just didn't need it, or maybe perhaps you were still too many weeks out and you just weren't ready. And maybe you didn't have anybody in your corner that was willing to tell you that. And that's unfortunate, but been there, done that. I think we all have at some point. But
Yeah.
and I feel like, yes,
I'll raise my hand.
look, it's a hard lesson learned. It's a hard lesson learned, unfortunately.
But you learn by going through it. That's all.
It's true, and sometimes that's the only way. Sometimes that's the only way. You just have to go through it, and I've been fortunate enough to go through it and still come out on the other side of it, and be successful too. So but yeah, sometimes you have to go through it. And I feel like for me now, like I said, the meals don't change the night before. I'm on minimal diuretics and things the night before. It's not necessary at this point because I'm lean enough and conditioned enough going into the show, a couple weeks ahead. So that's kind of the plan. So yeah, then we keep it pretty clean throughout as far as pumping up. My pump up food is Teddy Grahams. That is my pump up food. I've learned that works best for me.
Teddy Graham?
Teddy Grahams, yeah, that's my thing, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's like old school. Okay,
you'll see people backstage. Everyone's got like chips or whatever. I'm like, no, give me like a box of Teddy Graham. My coach is like, seriously? I'm like, yeah, I'm good on that. Now pump a couple of those. Yeah, I'm good. It's just
okay. So Team Boswell's got the Teddy Grahams on lock. Hey, everybody's got their thing, right?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Yeah. So go ahead and talk about some highlights besides that big win. I know just being there itself with that legendary lineup of ladies, I'm sure was just something to take in.
That the whole experience, like the fans were just different, like the whole, like just from the moment you got there, it was just, I just keep saying it was just an experience. It was just like epic. I can't even really, it was just hard to explain, but it was like a whole vibe. Like it was just, I'm like, these are my people. This is where everyone's at. Like the fans they understood it. They respected it. So I think there was just a level of respect there that was just like, wow, okay. And then just to be a part of it. And then like for me, like standing next to Michelle Brandt, and I was joking about that because she's one of my sponsors. She's, does my jury and stuff. But like standing next to her, and I'm like, she's 65. I mean, yes, I'm over 40, but I'm like talking to her. She's been doing this 20 years or more. Like we were joking. She's like, you could be my daughter. Like I'm like, for real. But you've been doing it that long, and you're still healthy, and you still look good, and it's like, oh, I'm like, I want to be able to do that at your age. Like that's, and be able to hold your own. Like that's like, yeah, it was just awesome. But just a great experience and being around people like her. Leah Denny was in my ear like the whole time when we were going up there. She's like, you got it. But she was just, it's like we compete against each other, but then it was at the same time, just everyone was just so supportive backstage. Everyone's just like, because it was like hot, and they're like, hey, look, fix your hair and patting you down. And like no one's letting anyone just, everyone's just kind of like talking backstage and just kind of joking. It was like a whole vibe. It was just awesome. And the arena itself is huge. So you're like walking around. I'm like, yeah, I've arrived. It's like one of those things.
I've arrived. I'm hoping that they had some warmer. Well, it's summertime, so I'm sure you didn't have to worry about the cold. So I'm sure it was warm.
No, it was hot. It was like 90 there. It was like crazy hot. Yeah, it was hot.
You didn't have to worry about the cold like we had to do backstage. So I'm sure that also helps, right?
Yeah.
Having the warmer temperature for the conditioning.
Yeah, dry. Yeah, for sure. Yep.
So you do coach and you train as well, and we've kind of been following. I kind of peep in on your stories every now and again about how communicative you are with your clients, and I think that that's important to highlight on this segment. How important it is, and how you're able to juggle competing and also training others yourself.
Yeah, I mean, my clients, I've been personal training a little bit longer than I've been competing, but a lot of my clients have been with me, long term. They've been with me for years. My longest client has been with me almost 12 years off and on. He's been hanging around for a long time. So they've been with me through a lot of the like prep, so they get it. And I think they enjoy it. They see me being able to kind of practice what I preach, and it's like, you know, off season to dieting to being stage ready and the level of discipline. I think they admire that level of discipline. I can always tell during like my prep time, they tend to hone in and to be a little bit even stricter on what they do themselves. And I'm one of those trainers where I'm like, I'm all in your business. Like, you know, like I want to know what you're doing when you're not training with me. Like, what else are you doing workout wise, whether it's yoga, Pilates, whatever you're doing outside of me. Like, I'm very like on top of my clients and what they do, you know, training wise overall, not just with me. So I think I'm really I'm that, I have that approach. And my clients are really patient. They know like when I'm traveling, they're like, okay, it's that time again. But as soon as I land, like, I mean, I came back from Romania that Sunday. I was back right at work 5 a.m. that Monday morning, you know, just right back at it, getting in as many of them as I could. And then I work with a really small, good group of other trainers. And if need be, I can let, you know, they'll take another client for me just so that client doesn't miss a session. I don't work in a place where it's like, oh, mine. We're very much, it's a long-term group. We've been together years. And very respectful of each other's talent and how we train. So like clients are always going to be of utmost importance, you know, with the trainers. So they never miss sessions. We'll always have someone that can kind of look out if need be. So
That's good, you know, and that goes to show how important community, right?
mm-hmm.
And even though this is a tough sport, it does take a village. It does take a team. It does take multiple people, right? In general, when you're trying to stay in this lifestyle and just even for your clients, maintain that level of health.
And they know when I'm that week before the show, they're like, should I go get my own weights? Could you please go grab your own weights? Let me just they know that week before the show, I'm struggling. So they're like, they've been with me long enough to know they're like, okay. And I've had clients, you know, bring me like gallons of water, bought you a gift. Okay. Like they buy, you know, they bring stuff like that, just, you know, and they follow me and they reach. I had a couple clients, even before I had posted anything, they were already texting me congratulations because they had either bought the pay-per-view or, you know, had been following along and stuff. So they were reaching out, you know, as soon as they saw, just to congratulate me and stuff, which is huge. I appreciate that. It's really, you know, nice that they, you know, are following along like that too. So.
Yeah, that's a testament to the connection that you establish, and that's the most important takeaway is establishing connections, true connections with your clients.
Yeah.
And you having a connection with your coach, that has also played an important role in your success.
Huge. I wanted this win for the both of us. I wanted this for the both of us. Eric Brozer is the best coach I've ever had. He's the best coach I've ever had. The communication, and we joke a lot. I'm like, oh, I'm a lot for most people, and I know it. He's like, yes, but my degree is in psychology, so we're fine. Because there's been a few times I've just kind of gone off the deep end, and some coaches have not been able to handle that, and we've parted ways, and he's so far he's stuck it out. And then for Romania with this show, I mean, I told him, I'm like, I just need you to stay up. I don't even know if I'm going to need anything. I probably won't, but I just need to know that you're going to stay up, even though you're 10 hours behind. Like, I don't really care. I just need you to be up. And we did. And he's like, okay, are you good? And after prejudging, he's like, I am dead. Are you good? I'm like, I'm good. And then he ended up not going to sleep anyway because he couldn't sleep, of course. But it was, you know, it was one of those. I'm like, I didn't really need anything at all. I just wanted to know that you were there. That's it. You know, but that's what I needed, so that's what he provided, you know. And it's a little bit of tough love when, you know, I kind of faltered a little bit with the prep, and I was like, he's like, it's now or never. Like, you do, this is it, you know. So he's very good with those kinds of things too, and I appreciate it. So I can go on autopilot as far as workouts. Just tell me what to do that's going to make me look like this, and I'm good. That's all I want to do. So he's been really on top of that, and we managed to add 10 pounds of muscle to this frame. So.
Wow. 10 pounds since last Olympia then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which was funny because I got on the scale and I was 169.5. I was 159 last year. So stepped on stage at 169. Yeah, 10 pounds up. So.
Oh, I knew you looked fuller. And bigger. Just didn't know what the number was. So.
And it was funny because I didn't honestly. My off-season weight didn't go above 180. You know, I think I hit like 178. We were just working with them.
You're taller than me. How tall are you again?
5'5.5".
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I kept thinking, I'm like, so I told him, I'm like, so like, what, 190, 200? He's like, God, no. No, that's not easy. We don't need to put that much on because it's always for me. It's adding this amount of muscle and as much muscle as we can without sacrificing my shape because that's the shape and the structure. That's my winning ticket. So we
Yeah.
can add as much muscle as possible with that, but that's my shape can't change. My waist, we can't sacrifice my waist. So that was one of the things too. He's like, no, you're probably not going to get over 180, and I didn't. So it made it so dialing it down was very, very slow. So I'm like, right, I hit, my last weigh-in 169 after carb ups, probably back up to 172. Weight didn't go any higher than 180 in the off season. So very,
I mean,
very clean.
well, again, you knowing your body,
Mm-hmm.
your coach also knowing your body as
Mm-hmm.
well. That back and forth, that all played a deciding factor in the direction that you went. And as someone who's still figuring out numbers too, it's nice to hear from other competitors that it's not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily that number. It's how it's the look.
It's the look. It really is the look. And like I had this number in my head, and I was like, oh, and that wasn't it. And then I'm like 190. Can I imagine having to diet that back down? Because I've gone up to those higher numbers, and then it's like, God, we have to diet all that back down. It's like Jesus Christ, you're killing yourself to diet it back down, and then you still end up losing some of the muscle that you gained. When I know what we put on, we kept, because it was quality, and we did it the right way, So.
And see, that's the key: putting on
Mm-hmm.
quality and not losing in that preparation phase.
Yeah, and just having a pretty clean off season, it's so funny because I'm like when I'm in prep and I'm getting ready for a show, the cravings and you want everything. But in off season, I swear I'm like, oh, I can have that, and it's just so which is it's so mental. Everything is so mental, anyways. So of course I'm in off season. I'm like, I can eat clean. I'm not really craving anything. I'm just kind of going through it, and yeah, it was just a solid off season, very solid off season.
Yeah, and that led to your win, and again now going to the Olympia for the 6th time. So what are you most looking forward to now as Masters Olympian champion going to the Olympia?
I don't know. Right now we're just it's making that first call out. Everything right now is about getting in the first call out. Rising Phoenix, my highest has been 9th. I mean, my first year I was 10th and 9th, so now this year we're top 5. Same thing with Olympia. My highest placing has been 9th, so the focus is really now to get to that first call out and what it's actually going to really take to get over that last little hump, really, because we're right there. We're close. And it's just it takes a lot. It's really gonna but that's the goal right now. And I think we're right there. So yeah, top
Yeah, you
five.
have 3 weeks for Rising, and then you coast on in a couple weeks after that and into the Olympia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah, not a lot of changes now. Just kind of dial in now, get a little bit leaner, and hold the size that we have. Hold the size that we have, get a little bit leaner, and then we'll just fill out a little bit more. And that's just going to be a little bit more food, prior to the show. But yeah, that's about it. Get a little bit fuller, and a little bit leaner as we go. So.
And will we be seeing a different presentation at?
Yeah. We got a couple new routines. Which I was joking. I said, my prep coach was a lot happier than my posing coach. But she's like, okay, we got to fix the routine. Prejudging routine will tweak a little bit. But I have new music for the Olympia. I'm going to make some changes for the Rising Phoenix for my evening routine. But there'll be a brand new routine completely for the Olympia that is in the works right now. So she's posing coach is getting to work on that now. So
Nice. So you'll be doing something new you'll be ready. Rising Phoenix. You're going to have something.
Rising Phoenix will be a newer routine. We're going to switch up some things from what we just did in Romania.
Okay.
The Olympia, Sharonica's working on something completely different. I actually don't even know what it is quite yet. So yeah, she's like, but this one will be one for the books. So
One for the book. Now,
yeah.
Do you have input too, or is it just your choreographer, your posing coach?
My posing coach, I'm going to let her kind of take the ring. I personally prefer it that way. She's really good at posing, me extremely technical, which I like and I respond really well to. And we've gotten into a really kind of a good groove as far as with the posing and stuff. So, and this was like our first time kind of really working together. So I think this will be, I'm letting her kind of take the lead on that. And I'm just gonna, my plan is actually to go out there in person and do some posing in person too, right before the Olympia, because it's that serious at this point. So, yeah, it definitely is. So, and for me, I'm someone like I'm not like a dancer, so it's not my thing. So I'm always like, okay, the routine, and that's like, all right. But I know at this point, it's like it comes down to the presentation, really. At this point, that's the last part that's lacking, and that's what the judges want, just a little bit more of that for me. And that's kind of how it was in Romania. It was like they wanted more emotion. They saw more emotion from me in terms of on stage and how bad I really wanted it. They were like, you were pretty clear as far as the pose down and all that. So, yeah, just kind of dial in the routines a little more and just a little more polish and just keep practicing it. You know, like I'm not a dancer, but, you know, we gotta perform for the audience. So.
Yeah, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. You know, just
I know it was like my coach was like, "Listen, this is we're in a new league now. You've got to step it up." And I'm like, "Okay, across all boards, exactly. Let's go." So it's one of those things where it's a bit overwhelming, but at the same time, it's like, "All right, let's do it." Like my mindset now, it's like I'm 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 one of the best, and I know I can be. But to be one of the best, it takes a lot. Like I was thinking the other day, I'm like, Andrea got to be tired, bro, because like she's like busy 24/7. It's a lot. Like it's a lot, and even to like even have even like a tenth of a taste of that, it's like it's overwhelming. Like this first week for me has been just overwhelming, and like I tear up every few minutes just thinking about stuff, and I'm like, I don't know how she does. Like it's a lot. It's a lot, and it's just mad respect. If I didn't have it before, it's like mad respect for like just everything. Yeah. So.
oh yeah, it feels like the it's just a little bit more you gotta handle. You gotta and
Mhm.
be able to do that
And do it with a smile on your face,
and
because
do it
like
with
you
a
gotta.
smile on your face. Yeah, she does a great.
Yes,
She's
and be very graceful. Yes, yes, yes,
yeah.
yes. Mm-hmm.
But girl,
Mm-hmm.
you got this. You got this.
Mm-hmm.
You are this. So
Yes,
like you said,
I
just
know, and that's why I'm like I'm talking to Linda. She's like, Miss O, I can say that now, and I'm like,
yeah,
no,
yes, good girl. Yeah.
no.
Hearing that from the Miss
Yes,
Olympia, right?
I
Yeah,
know. It's like wow, yeah.
yeah,
Who would have
yeah.
thought? Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, those who do follow Miss Reshanna know that she's also a super mom as well. So this one is a mom question for you. Since you are a super mom, what is the message that you're hoping that your kids are getting from seeing you just perform at such a high level and just pursue everything that you do the way that you do?
You know, this is all for them. Like they're definitely my motivation. And it was kind of what I said too when I was on like 13-hour trip, 4 or 5 days away from my kids. We're FaceTiming, in the morning and before they go to bed. And it just, and you're like, Mommy, Mom, where you're working? Well, yeah, I am working. I'm working, but like they go to every Olympia. So for me, it was like, well, I got to win because that's our family vacation is the Olympia. That's where we go every year. So, and they love it. They love going to the show. They always snag a picture in the magazine. Yeah, so it's just this one was just it was just one of those. I'm like, I got to get them there. We got to get there. This is our thing. It's our thing. It's Team Boswell, and they love it. They enjoy it. They talk to people are used to seeing them now. So, and they've been to every Olympia. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I had the pleasure of seeing the whole crew and meeting the crew in action at the last one. So
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
go
we're
ahead.
deep. And shout out to our nanny because like we bring the nanny everywhere because like
Yeah, I got to meet. Yeah. She was rolling with you. I was like, they got a whole operation going
man,
on.
listen.
Okay.
Yeah, she travels everywhere with us, and it's one of those. But like the kids, they love her. And I trust her, and yeah, so yeah, and she goes everywhere with us. That's yeah.
So since we're on Team Boswell, go ahead and give Team Boswell a shout out. Who is on Team Boswell?
Well, my wife Kay, of course, who meal preps for the whole family. She portions everything out. She's better at it than I am, to be quite honest.
You're
My
right or
kids,
die.
she's awesome. And my kids, Lucas and Lourdes, and our nanny, Miss Banks. That's our small little niche group there. That group never changes.
She says they're watching now. Team Boswell says they're watching now.
Yeah.
So go ahead and hi to
Yeah.
them.
And my daughter, like they know when I'm in the basement and they're like, Mama, you're posing. They know I'm posing. Like they know what's going on. So they're like, yeah. They pose and flex and do all that kind of stuff in the mirrors with me too. So
Oh, so it might be safe to say that one of them might be following
oh, I think
in
so. Definitely.
footsteps.
Definitely. My son's always, can I go to the gym with you? He wants to go to the gym with me. He's got his gym bag. He's doing his thing. So yeah.
That's amazing.
Pretty
So
awesome.
one last thing that before I close this out, because again, you are a wife, you're a mom, and you're also an ambassador for the sport, and it's important just to pass on a little something to those coming into the game. So any advice that you would like to pass on to any young ladies that are pursuing the sport of bodybuilding?
Just enjoy the process, enjoy the process. I mean, I remember going to my very first show and just kind of sitting in the audience and just kind of taking it all in. And it was like, and I knew, I think people like eating out and they're drinking the gallons of water. And I'm like, all right. But it was like, I thought it was cool. Like, it was a cool thing to me. And then, like, to see the people on stage, and I'm like, all right, again, these are my people. This is where I belong. And I just kind of knew. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to do my first show. And then when you really and it's like, either you're in or you're out. But it's like, if just enjoy the process. I look back on it now, like my first show going in and just everything. Enjoy the whole process. I enjoyed the training and the dieting. And even when it sucks, it's still fun, and just enjoy it. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the process. Take it all in. Don't rush anything. Don't rush the muscle. Don't rush the leanness. It takes time. Don't rush to grow. It takes time. I was 113 pounds the very first time I stepped on stage. I was 170 now. It takes time. It's almost 10 years later. So.
Did you ever think that you would, at 117? You just said, I was like, I want to let you go, but wait a minute. That's a good one. Before we close out, you just 117 to what?
To 170, yeah. Yeah.
Did you ever think? No.
No, no, but it was just a progression and just a progression. And I didn't think from figure to physique, because I went through, figure, physique to bodybuilding, and this is where I really truly feel my home is at. But like I had a picture pop up in my memories the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, that was the first show. How smart, and it's just like it's amazing the process. But yeah, if you just keep going, you just keep going.
Yeah. That's what I like. And again, now Masters is back. I've been saying it since Masters came back, and then seeing you win and just seeing all those ladies up there. This is a long game.
Our sport is different. Like age doesn't matter in our sport as much as it does in other things. It really doesn't. It really doesn't.
Take your time. You could take your time, pursue other things. Or again, if you're just solely working on yourself, just take a step back if you need to. The stage isn't going anywhere. Nope. The stage welcomes you at any age.
It does. It does. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Just bring your best you. And yeah, your only competition is you. And I've learned that too. It's like, I look at the other and like, who do you know you're competing against? I mean, I know who's out there, but I'm not concerned anymore. I'm just not. I'm going to work on me and bring the best me, because that's all I can really do at the end in the first place. And as long as I do that, my best me is winning. I'm good. So, it's just, and as long as you believe that, then yeah. So.
Yes, the best you. So may the best you, Reshanna, win coming up in the next few weeks. We got Rising Phoenix for you, but you're going to the O. The big O, the family vacation.
I was wondering how we were going to get back here, man. I was wondering. I was just... I was looking at the schedule. I'm like, what show? We got a lot of options. Let me see.
You had that one little moment where you were like, all right, I don't know, how's this family vacay gonna happen?
You put it in, but that's real. And I was like, okay, we got to figure this out. And we did.
Yes. You made it happen for Team Boswell. You made it happen for yourself. And again, it's inspiring. Again, personally knowing you and being a friend. And you've always shown me love. So again, it was nice to see you win and go back to the Olympia. So that's it for this installment of Queens of the Olympia. Please go ahead and subscribe to the BNN Bodybuilding News Network page, our YouTube. This interview, along with all the other Queens of Olympia interviews, will be dropping to the official YouTube page coming this month. So stay tuned for that. Again, we've just been doing a lot of stuff in real time myself. So thank you, everybody, for growing with us. Thank you, everybody, for the support. And that's it. So until next time, be good to yourself.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, that's it. We're out. I am welcoming into the studio for BNN Now Masters 212 champion Hidetada Yamagishi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Josh, for inviting me, and great honor to me to be in your show. Thank you.
Oh. Yes, well, we're glad to have you, and I'm going to kick it off with saying a big congratulations on your historic Masters 212, the first. Congratulations, Masters Olympia.
Yeah, thank you. So, long story short, I've been retired actually for 3 years. Last show was 2020, which was Olympia. Yep. Then I have been away 3 years. During these 3 years, I've been, like opening up the gym, and started some other business. So being quite busy, but Masters Olympia came back after 11 years absence. And quite honest with you, I wasn't really ready for it. And when they announced it, I probably told you I was not going to do it. There's no way I could go back to the stage. That was my first response when they announced the Masters Olympia. They will bring it back up. So, but I think around Arnold Classic, you remember the March?
Yeah.
I have a couple interest conversation with guys like Johnny Jackson. Johnny Jackson, I'm not sure what happened to him, but he didn't compete. He ended up not competing, but he was the first one actually told me, kind of persuade me, to do it. And I was like, okay, I'm still 50. Then if I wanted, I could do it because my physique, even though I wasn't, like mentally, I wasn't, ready for the show, but my physique was actually already there. I was very lean, and I kept myself lean. I was smaller, of course. I kept my weight around 200 pounds, so which is, of course, much lighter than when I used to compete. But I was really lean, and one time I went to DexaFit, this like body scan, and the number was surprised me. It was like 10% body fat. Then, as you know, DexaFit is one of the very accurate way to scan your body composition, right? Mm-hmm. So 10% body fat is pretty good for not competing for 3 years. And February, actually, right before we went to Arnold to watch, I was down 8%. So 8% is like almost contest ready condition. So of course I was smaller, but body fat wise, I was almost ready to the show. So kind of like I started thinking, like, okay, it wouldn't be so difficult for me to compete. I just need to put on some size, which, muscle memory will work because I used to be around 20 pounds heavier. So if I eat more, simply, I would be ready in 12 weeks. Then when I decided to the show, I think it was like 16 weeks out. Then after that, I went to Japan. Of course, in Japan, I wanted to enjoy all the food. So I ate, my body fat was, fairly low. Then by the time I started prepping for the show, which was 12 weeks out, I was around same body fat percentage, which was 8. Then right before show, like couple days before show, I went to Dexavir again. Then I was down 5.6%, which probably the lowest I ever been. So overall, the prep was easiest for me. Like I said, I didn't need to come down. I needed to go up. So it was very, very easy. Then I didn't even do cardio up until 2 weeks out. So everything went well. Then I had a great result.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really expect. I didn't go to the show. Of course, in my mind, okay, if I won, that would be great. But like, I used to be like this. I winning or losing, like I put everything, like, feels like every day I go to the gym, it's like if I didn't do well, I was going to die or something like that. That's mentality, like. But this prep, I was really enjoying everything, and then I wanted to enjoy. So my perspective totally changed. Like, bodybuilding is not my priority anymore. So it used to be everything about bodybuilding, right? So I live for bodybuilding, and I made money from bodybuilding. But now I have all these other things to do. So I would say probably bodybuilding is third priority for me. So of course I wasn't that, mentally, what I put it, like, so if you think about, winning all the time, it's kind of drain you, right? So, but that's the mentality of competitors, all the Olympian guys, that's what they do, and that's what they have to be. But now for me, like, it was my past, and I did everything like enjoyable this time. So I was really surprised, and I won, and so that's why on a stage, I looked at the footage of the stage. I didn't look like I was happy, or I was kind of like really calm. Then just because I didn't really expect to win, then but by the time in the morning show, I knew I was going to win. So comparison was very obvious. I was in the center, and guys are moving around me, so I knew I was going to win, or at least second. So it's, if you're a competitor, it's the best feeling, on a stage, and every judges look at you, you can feel it. Yeah. So overall experience was great, and I wanted to keep coming back to Masters Olympia for sure.
That's good to know. Yeah. In 9 weeks out from this will be your 11th Mr. Olympia competition?
Yes.
Wow.
So how does it feel now to be the first, now that it's settled in? You are the first Masters, 212.
Well, that's a great honor to me. Then Iris actually told me before show, she said she wanted me to be Miss Olympia. Then I was like, okay, Mr. Olympia, yeah, right. It's Masters, but it's more Mr. Olympia title. So that's when I realized. So again, I was really very relaxed toward this show. So I didn't really think about, okay, this is Masters Olympia. I didn't really think it was Mr. Olympia, but she was right. It's a Mr. Olympia title. So of course she's 11-time Miss Olympia, and 7-time annual classic champion, right? So she has these titles, and I have annual classic 212, right?
Yes.
So I never had a Mr. Olympia title, but this is gonna be my Mr. Olympia title, and I have at least one honor, one Mr. Olympia title. So it will be really, great. So that's when I realized, and I was just, honored to be up there right? Just like other guys, and we did our best, and a judge picked the best on that day, which happened to be me. So it was a great experience.
So now you're going to the Olympia, and how does that feel? 50. You're making a statement at 50, showing that you are at your peak performance, health, physically and mentally. How's that feel?
So age of 50, of course, when I was 30 or 20s, when I just started, 50 sounded like crazy, like it's too old to the oldies. But I'm at this age and I realize if you take care of your body, of course, 50s, you have all these more, I would say more risk than when you were younger, just because you live longer than, like 50 years. If it's a car, it's, you have much more problem than newer car, right? So if it was a car, you can just replace the parts or replace whole thing. But human body doesn't work like that. So all you could do is just take better care to yourself, which to me, like the first thing I did when I stopped competing was I tried to lose weight, so carrying all this muscle, it's muscle, but it's still weight, right?
Mhm.
So
Yep.
it was if you like, I'm about 5'6", and I was almost 240, 250 pounds during off season, and when I was on the stage, around 220 pounds, which was of course very heavy to my height. So first thing I wanted to do was lose some weight. So that was why I kept myself around 200 pounds. Then I wanted to do it. Right? It's a lifestyle. To me, dieting is very, very, very easy. I don't have any craving to certain food. During all these years, since I started competing when I was 19. So all these years diet, like, allow me, kind of like, I don't want to eat any other food. So I was very happy with just eating, almost same stuff I used to eat, like chicken, rice, like veggies, all this stuff. And I barely eat something other than those. Of course, if I have occasion, I have some, so-called cheat meal. But most of the time, I kept my diet same, just less. I was eating 3 or 4 meals a day. Then, of course, when I train, I have some, pre, intra, and post workout shake. So compared to my competition day, it was, of course, less calorie, less nutrient. So I was able to be down 200, very lean. Then that was the good thing to me, like carrying heavy weight, age of 50 or even I think 40. After 40s, you shouldn't be go too heavy, even if it's during off season. Because the other thing is your skin is not as flexible as when you're young. So if your weight is up and down, you probably see your skin gonna kind of wrinkle.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you're over 40, you have to consider keep your weight, around same weight. Even if you're still competing, even off season, you try to keep your weight, not going up and down too much.
I remember you saying when I trained with you, you don't prep.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lifestyle. And you choose to, as you're saying right now, be regimented on a regular basis. So that's a good message for competitors as they are maturing in
Right.
the sport, to make it a habit of not going hard and making it a prep, but
Right.
making it a lifestyle.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. So now going to the Masters, Olympia, and now now going to the Olympia after doing Masters. And Josh actually has been a long time. Sanch has been a long time fan and supporter of you, and so he's actually got a few questions that he's been wanting to ask. So I'm going to give it off to Sanch over here.
Yeah. Well, it was great to have that opportunity to interview you in Las Vegas at your gym. Dan from Muscle Icon was able to coordinate that at last year's Olympia. So I do appreciate your time, and it was a huge fan moment for me. I mean, watching right when I came out of high school, I saw you on, I believe it was the Generation Iron documentary, and that's what got me into bodybuilding. So it was, people say don't meet your idols, but it was really cool to meet you, and then now to be able to have you on my own show is surreal. So I'm honored. It's a real privilege to have you here. You mentioned you intend to defend your master's title.
Yes. So I'll definitely go back to masters. Whole experience was just great. I mean, it's probably like half of it comes from my mentality. Like I wanted to enjoy, and I could see other guys the same. They've been competing. Some of them competing as long as me or longer than me. David Handy, I believe he started as a pro even before me, which is like almost 20 years. Yeah. I've been pro 18 years. So, all these guys, still doing the same, what we love, which makes me, okay, I can't just stop.
Okay. That's good. I think that's exciting to know that we can expect to see you returning to the Masters stage, regardless of, how your 11th Mr. Olympia contest goes. I think it's exciting for fans.
Right. So if Olympia is different, I mean, I seen 212 Mr. Olympia, level of competitors, depth of lineup, it's
crazy.
Yeah, crazy. And then compared to my age, okay, let's say when I was top 5, 212, which was probably 10 years ago. Okay, you see like 5, 6 good guys and other guys, those are the, so you can kind of tell like who is the top 5, but top 10 it was open. But now if you see these guys, okay, top 10 is already
amazing.
Taken.
Yeah.
Right. So there are more guys, the good guys. Just there are more good guys in a lineup. So it will be tough to me if I compete same exact physique. I wouldn't be competitive. So I have to adjust something. First, I need to eat more, which I knew I didn't do. Yeah, I didn't do enough for this Masters Olympia. So eating more food to me is very hard. Coming down is kind of easier. I mean, if it's compared. Yep. So, but I just started, adding another meals to my diet. So which will do something. I'm hoping. And again, going into Mr. Olympia is not going to park. It's these guys are, coming to this show, like their mentality is different. So I have to be that mentality. Same thing, like it's I'm represent masters, all these guys. So I can't be there. I have to be competitive at least. So that's change of my mindset. I still, my experience tells me, okay, but you still have to enjoy it. So I think it's possible this time because I'm already in shape. So adding another meal, okay, it's tough to me, but compared to somebody coming down to the show, it will be easier than that. So I should be enjoying this 9 weeks.
Yeah. Now you're saying you're adding another meal. I know from what I've seen other pros do is sometimes they just increase the portion sizes.
Right.
Have you noticed, and I would say you have one of the better midsections in the 212 history. Have you ever noticed that you have to fight with your midsection control with adding more food?
This morning in every morning I do like not really exercise, but I practice my backing
Yeah,
pose.
yeah.
When you go shower, you can do like like probably like few minutes. You tight your core, try to control my abs. So it's all about me. Like you said, it's control your abs. So you have to constantly think about it, or it's gonna pop up. You relax your abs. So to me, it's more like training, like practice.
Mm-hmm.
So I would see, but if I have the point, you can't really control your abs. Which is like overeating to me. So I don't think it will affect me by adding another meals, but we'll see. If it goes that point, I have to do some adjustment.
Yep. Okay. You're taking a very methodical approach to putting on the extra size you need.
Right. So again, and it's for me, it's a muscle memory. So it will be. I wouldn't say it's adding new tissue, right? So it's already there. So I just gotta feel them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Fill it up.
Yeah.
Okay. So you talked about, you're, I guess in theory, you are somewhat changing bodybuilding competitively. You said it was kind of like your tier 3 priority. Now you are kind of shifting it. You're mixing it around for this Olympia. But also I wanted to know a little bit more about the business side. You have the Powerhouse Gym in Las Vegas. Tell me when I'm wrong. I thought you had a Powerhouse Gym in Japan as well.
Yes.
And then you also, you're infamous. You're famous for knowing the pro shows that you promote over in Japan.
Right.
I think, did you miss the most recent one because of the Masters?
Yes.
Okay, I thought that was the timeline.
Show. Yeah, we had the same show same weekend.
Yeah,
which we called Tokyo Pro.
Tokyo Pro.
So,
You're right.
Yeah, we have 2 pro shows: Tokyo Pro in August and Japan Pro in November.
Mm-hmm.
And we started Tokyo Pro 2 years ago during COVID. Then Japan Pro, it's been fifth year, right? So it's been great. And Japan Pro was the very first IFBB professional show in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So it's growing bigger each year. Then we have also Olympia Amateur combined with Japan Pro in November.
Okay.
Which is, of course, is one of the biggest show in the world. So we have around during COVID, of course, number went down, but we are expecting around like 500 competitors from all over the world. Then pro show, Tokyo Pro, we were a little worried because August in Japan, I was wondering, okay, who is going to travel all the way to Japan? But we got like over 30 guys in men's classic physique division,
mm-hmm.
and end up quite a number of competitors in a pro division. And a day before, we have regional show, which is amateur division, mm-hmm. and we had about like 300 guys and ladies competed from all over the world. So which was quite successful event.
Yeah. I guess I wanted to I'm a fan of bodybuilding, so I'm just enjoying myself right now. The guy that won your classic show, the guy Shi Chen Jean, holy mm-hmm. cow, that guy was crazy.
Yeah, so you will see more guys from Asian countries we never seen. Mm-hmm. So which is very important for, I think, IFBB, because we usually see good guys from here.
Right, US, yeah.
In America, or probably sometimes Europe. But there are a bunch of good guys in Asia too, and other part of the world. So we will see. We look forward to see all these guys come to Orlando, Florida to compete, and what they're going to bring to the stage. We are really excited as a fan.
Yeah, and even we have the Flex weekend this weekend in Italy. There's a
Right.
I don't want to mess up the nationality, but Sho Ming Yan or John, that guy, he's huge, and he's coming in there. I mean, he could push Regan, he could push Nathan Diasha.
Right.
I love seeing the lineups get mixed up with different looks. That's what
Right.
makes bodybuilding, especially open, so exciting. Is you have such a wide net, a variety of physiques.
Yeah. So we will see more talents from all these other countries, and that's why IFBB professional is the best. We have best show everywhere in the world.
Yeah, that's why it is the cream of the crop. Best of the best.
Exactly. Yeah.
Last one from me, and then I'll hand it to Danielle. I know she's biting at the bit. You've been with Rich Gaspari forever. What really sets Rich in his company apart, and what makes you really love that company? Because you've been with them since as long as I can remember.
So first time I met Rich, it was 2007 actually, the year I started competing Olympia. Then he came down to California where I was training with Mirosh, and I was training with Silvio Samuel at the time. He was my training partner, and Rich wanted to sign him, Silvio actually. Then I met him, and Silvio ended up go with Masotech, which was everyone pretty much signed with Masotech back then. And Rich actually remembered me, but we never signed anything on that year. But 2 years after 2009, he finally signed with me, and the intention he told me later on. Intention was because I was only a guy from Asia, doing well in IBB circuit back then. So he wanted to expand, of course, his business to other region. So that was his intention, and it took us almost 10 years to expand our business to Japan. But it's now huge in Japan. So if you go to Japan and if you ask all these guys in the gym and what's your favorite American brand, will be Gaspari. There is no other company could touch. Yeah. So it took us this long, but it's actually paid off, all the promotions and the stuff. But at the same time, bodybuilding grew a lot in Japan too, just like here. 10 years ago, if I was on the street in Japan, no one would, okay, of course, some guys, bodybuilders recognize me, but now regular people see me and they know me because it's popularity. Right? So the business, of course, business grew if it's more people in a gym. So overall, everything goes right direction right now. So it's more like a mature, I would say it was more like a booming, like probably a couple years ago, gym was everywhere. Gym pop up, like small gym pop up everywhere. Now it's more mature period of time. And 5 years ago, for example, some shows, we have like 40 something shows in a year, regional shows. And on top of them, there are 2 pro shows, right? So each shows we have like 500 to 1,000 competitors. Now it's little less because back then, a couple years ago, it was more like everyone wanted to compete just because everyone's doing it, right? But now it's more like people mature. Then we have less competitors, but more quality, I would say.
Yeah.
Then I'm hoping this culture stays and mature in Japan, just like here. So fitness industry itself growing all over the world. China, Korea is huge, Japan. So there are a bunch of opportunity for us to go after them.
Can I do one more, Daniel, just real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hide, I'm a huge fan of Japan, Nihon, and I'm actually learning Japanese currently because I've been really debating in the next like decade or so moving over to Japan because the job I work for is based out of Tokyo.
Right. Oh, wow.
And I didn't realize that the bodybuilding community was that healthy in Japan. Do you think that you want the community to grow there? But do you see more pro shows potentially going to Japan? I mean, 2 pro shows is pretty good.
Right. So actually, 2 pro shows from us, our guys, it's called FWJ. Then Muscle Contest has 1 shows in February. So there are 3 pro shows.
Okay.
Of course,
I thought Muscle Contest had one, yeah.
Yeah, Muscle Contest has I forgot the name, but it's growing too. So we grow together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So we have 3 pro shows, February, then August, and November. And I don't know if we put another pro show, but for example, Tokyo Pro, it started with a men's physique and a bikini. Now we added classic physique. Then we're going to add another class each year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So which still we have more classes, so which is like growing. So instead of putting another show, we just grow Tokyo Pro, just like New York Pro or Tampa.
Oh,
we wanna eventually we wanna have all division.
All the divisions. Show. You hear that, Danielle?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Women's bodybuilding too.
Yes, like you took the words out of my mouth, because we've had conversations about that, and you have told me how interest for women is more along the lines of bikini still. Right. But have you started to see more women trying to get into physique even, or more interest for that at least? How's that? How have you seen that evolve?
So I think we started from bikini. Of course, some of them wanted to more, right? It's a human nature. So they go to figure probably. Then they go think about women's physique. So to be honest with you, there are not many women have developed that kind of physique yet in Japan, but they will be. So more like, I would say more like Korea or China, they have if you talk about quality of competitors, they are advanced. To be honest with you, China and Korea is probably the 2 best countries in Asia for women's physique and women's bodybuilding. And they have some good ladies in figure division already. So they will have more ladies to wanted to compete in those 2 categories. Then it's close. Japan and these countries are very close, so they can travel us to compete in Tokyo Pro. Then by the time a few years, it's gonna be more ladies in Japan wanted to be like you guys. So it has a bright future. So we will, and we will in the future we will have all division. That's for sure. That's our goal. Then Japan Pro in November, because we have Olympia Amateur, so time is really tight because Olympia Amateur is really, as you know, it's a huge show. So we have to have some certain limit category in pro show because the time is really tight. But Japan, Tokyo Pro, we have unlimited resource and time, so we just add 1 each year.
I'm excited.
Yeah, exactly.
Lots going on, and it is exciting to be a part of a league that allows for growth, expansion, and more inclusion. You see it in all other industries and other sports arenas. It's great that now across the board, more than ever, we have just a more robust, a culturally diverse representation in the league and in the sport of bodybuilding.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. That's our goal.
Yes. Well, that's it for me on my ends. Sanch, you have anything else that you'd like to ask Mr. Hide?
What would be when I visit Japan? I want to go next fall. One, what's the best season to go to visit Japan? And for someone who's never been there, hopefully my Nihonjin is a little bit better by then. But what season would be the best to visit Japan, and maybe where do you think would be a great spot?
So you want to go to like October?
That's what I was thinking, but I
Yeah.
kind of want to take your recommendation on the season.
Right. October will be the best, one of the best.
Okay.
So because of the Japan is like kind of like in the south, it's more like a tropical. It's really hot.
Yeah.
Then Tokyo is in summer. Tokyo is it's like too hot. I went to let's say for example, I went to Miami. People told me it's horrible, humid, right? Like summer. To me, like it was nothing. Because I grew up in Tokyo, which like it could be 100% humidity, and it's just you go out and you sweat like crazy right away. So summer I never recommend. It's okay. Summer is like probably like July August. These 2 months is just you can unbearable humidity, right? So September it goes down, and October will be perfect. Then always spring, April, March, same thing. It's very beautiful, and we have cherry blossom in March to April, which is crazy. And if you see photo, then you think this is great. If you go there, it's just unbelievable, crazy. Yeah. So I will recommend go there March, April, or October.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's probably why you love Las Vegas so much, is because there's no humidity.
That's what I was thinking too. That's kind of a reprieve from 100% humidity, and that also got me thinking. Did you train a lot while in that type of environment? So, what's the difference you'd say between now training in a predominantly dry, hot climate?
So I started in a gym, old school gym. They didn't even have an air conditioner back then. So summertime it was okay. It was like 100 degrees, and it was humid like 100%. It was tough, but to us it was normal, right? So I trained and under that kind of environment, just like Lonnie Coleman was training, from Metroflex. No air conditioner, 100-degree, 100 humidity, and a brutal environment. And actually, looking back, it helped me a lot because when I came to, first I came to California, trained with Milosh, everything felt easy for me, like the weather, humidity, environment, and I just loved it. And then my body just grew like crazy because I was training under that harder environment. So it helped me a lot. And of course, Las Vegas, it's a hot like 110-degree every day. Then there's no humidity, and of course inside you have to have air conditioner. So it's a different environment. But if you are a competitor, that will help you because humidity, makes your fatigue easy. So this environment helps, I think, bodybuilder grow other compared to other environment. So I would say California didn't make sense to us back then. It was Mecca because of the environment and the weather, less humidity. But now it's people say Las Vegas is a new Mecca. I think it makes sense for all of us to move somewhere in a more better environment. It's if it's you can take advantage of it, right?
So dry or hot is
Uh,
better for training.
I think it's more help industry too. I think the reason why Las Vegas is very people in here more like health conscious because you tend to be how would you say, like you have more opportunity to show your physique. I would say
Sure.
compared to East Coast, I think. So that's why fitness business is very good. Like really, it's also competitive, but I think it's more opportunity for us to like gym owners. Like we do a gym and supplements together, right? So it helps all of the business all over being here in Las Vegas.
That's very interesting. Just because I was having that type of conversation with a coach, of mine, and we were just having that debate. What would be the more ideal type of? Because lately California has been having mixed weather. I'm sure you guys have been getting it too, with the rain and the storms, and it's been more muggy, more humid. And as I'm training in the gym, I'm going, I wonder if this is the most optimal condition for when you're trying to condition your body. So
Right.
yeah,
it helped, but again, end of the day, it's you, right? You can train anywhere, and like I said, it did help me being from that kind of like harder environment when I was younger, right? Then I came out here, it get everything easier, so it helped. So I wouldn't say everyone should move somewhere in a better environment. If you want it, you can do it anywhere.
anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Josh, I think it's safe to say I think it's a wrap. It's a wrap. We are more than happy, excited, and grateful that you joined us today, Hide. And we thank you for the gems that you dropped, as always. I always feel like I learned something from you, and so I'm sure that the viewers at home will take something away from this. Josh, anything you'd like to say?
Well, Hide-san, I am a fan first, so I learned a bunch in this episode. And I'm going to throw it out here. I'm going to visit Japan anyways. If BNN applied for a press pass to the Japan Pro and I lined up my vacation with that, do you think it's possible that BNN could to get press access to the Japan Pro in 2024?
Yeah, for sure. Just email me and then we will hook you up.
Okay. Danielle, I'll carry the torch on that one.
Okay, well, I'm excited, and I guess that's more of an incentive for you guys to add some women's divisions to the lineup, so we can have some lovely ladies to interview.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. One division a year.
Yep, one step at a time. But the fact is that it's moving, it's in motion, and no doubt about it, I'm sure it's going to happen. So it makes me very excited. So thank you again.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me, and hopefully I will see you guys in Orlando, Florida.
Yes. Oh yes. We will be there in Orlando. I'll have your headshot with a marker because I missed you last year. So hopefully I can get this one autographed this year, and then I can add you to the wall.
Yeah, yes, you got to make sure you stop by our little spot and say hi to us at the Olympia.
Whoa.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and close this out. This has been actually a special episode of BNN Now with Masters 212 champion Hidetada Yamagishi. I am your host, women's bodybuilder, IFBB Pro, Danielle Willis. And this is my sidekick, my co-host, Mr. Josh Sanchgro. And until the next time, be good to yourselves. Please subscribe, please comment, and join us next time.
Mm-hmm. In real quick, Hide, how can the fans support you? Where can they find you on social media? How can we support your brands and your businesses?
Okay, so my Instagram, Hidetada Yamagishi. Then Powerhouse Gym Las Vegas, same thing, Powerhouse Gym Las Vegas at Max. So follow us, and we try to have a great information, not just training, but also nutrition. So follow us, please.
Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you, Hide. Danielle, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, Hide. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You guys have a good weekend. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hajimase.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.